Hello, I'm Mike Looney, the Superintendent of Schools. Welcome to another version of Let's Talk Schools. Today I have with me Dr. Emily Bell. Dr. Emily Bell, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us what you do, what role you play in our district.
I am the Chief Information Officer. I am responsible for the safe, supported, and effective access to our network and our robust menu of software applications. Our department also provides data analytics to help leaders inform decisions, and we manage a number of innovative and technical projects like distributing thousands of devices to our staff and students.
It's really important work. You know, I remember as a classroom teacher, my classroom computer was an Apple, and it had those floppy 5.25-inch drives. Technology has certainly changed so much, and we've learned so much as a result of having experienced COVID, and we've had to shift more towards using technology. Talk about, from your perspective as the Chief Information Officer, what transitions or what impact computers have now in everyday classroom work for students?
Certainly, the devices that we provide to our students and staff are high-quality, modern devices capable of high levels of productivity and collaboration, and they are definitely a part of the modern learning toolkit. They augment instruction, they help students achieve their mastery, and they are definitely a part of what we do in our classrooms and our work every day.
So how do we provide every student with a device in the district? And if so, or regardless of that answer, how does the district fund devices?
Well, first I'd like to thank the members of our board and Dr. Looney, you, for supporting our technology initiatives. But it's all about our Fulton families and their commitment to the eSPLOS program, which funds a number of our technology initiatives, including paying for all of those devices. These investments help position the district to deliver viable platforms and solutions during the pandemic, when technology was definitely in the fore, and even today.
Interesting. So computers, laptops, notebooks are in some ways taking the place of traditional textbooks. So I imagine students that, back when I was a student, you had one textbook for every classroom, 6 or 7 textbooks, and now you may have a few textbooks, but you also have a laptop in your book bag. Is that an accurate description of what's happening?
It definitely is an accurate description. We have a variety of different resources, both print and digital. And so right now, currently, we issue devices to students in grades 3 through 12 so they can access those resources as needed. Now, having a device is a privilege, and it's a privilege that comes with responsibility. So we ask that our students access appropriate content, and if they get to a message that says content is blocked, that's because our firewalls and filters are blocking that content as per our Child Internet Protection Act compliance. We don't need students to try to get around those messages. It's there to protect them. We also ask our students to store devices properly, keep them in their bag, keep them at home safe, charge them, bring them back and forth to school because it is part of their curriculum.
Now, you mentioned something that I've heard a lot of questions about since I've been the superintendent, and that is, how do we protect students using a device in Fulton County schools when they're in the classroom from going to some site that is not approved or has inappropriate content? Do we use a filtering system? Do we block it? What does that work? How does that work?
Well, again, our filters and firewalls are CIPA compliant, Child Internet Protection Act. These are just software systems that block content by category. So we have a number of categories that are off limits to students in K-12 just because of the nature of what they are. So if a student is using a Fulton County Schools uncompromised issued device and it goes through our firewalls and filters, our network, students will be kept safe from accessing inappropriate content. Now, we do believe that trustworthy digital citizenship is everyone's responsibility. So pay attention. If you see something that's inappropriate, maybe it got through, say something. We have a tip line, an icon on all of our devices. A parent or a student can click on it and send an anonymous tip to let us know, I saw something inappropriate, so that we can check it out, maybe plug that hole. You could also maybe see that a bad actor is asking for information they shouldn't. Let us know about that too. Our staff is constantly monitoring our network to make sure that our students' information is safe.
So since you mentioned this, another concern that I've heard since I've been the superintendent is, how do we go about protecting the privacy of students that are using software that they have access to in Fulton County schools?
Well, student privacy, their data and their personal information is job one in protecting. But we also want the students to be able to access information that helps them achieve their academic goals. So, it's a balance, Dr. Looney. We have a balance that allows our students to access content per their curriculum, but on the backside, we're protecting their information.
Okay, so if we have a software program and a student has to enter their name and their age, then that information is protected by our security software system, so that bad actors or others can't get into that and then use that for marketing or for trying to steal someone's identity. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. We do have data privacy agreements. Now, where I would say I'm suspicious is that our students shouldn't have to enter in any of their information.
Okay.
We take care of that. We enter that in our student information system, which we use Infinite Campus in the district, and we sync that information with our third-party applications. Those third-party vendors sign very strict data agreements with us that they don't use or sell our data in any way. It is highly protected. So again, our teachers and our students shouldn't have to enter in any information. We handle that in the IT department for them, and we keep the data safe.
So there are millions and millions of different software applications that some are in the cloud and some are not. So how do we make sure that the software applications that are in use here in Fulton County schools have been vetted and offer the protection that, one, we're required to provide by law, but two, that we find is important?
We have a wonderful committee that we call the Solutions Architecture and Application Governance Committee. It's cross-functional. It has membership from a variety of departments in our district, as well as school-based leaders. And these leaders vet applications that are approved in our district. We look at them for the safety. Have they signed our data agreement? We look at them for their ability to be supported. Does the vendor support this no matter what happens to it? Are we able to support it? And we look at the effectiveness. Do our academic leaders believe that this software is in line with what we want our students to learn?
Okay. So not all software is created equal, obviously, from an educational standpoint. Let me ask you this. We've invested millions of dollars in Fulton County schools for the infrastructure, but also for the devices that we issue to students and employees. What happens to a device if it goes missing? How do we recover that device? What do we do if a student's device is stolen or misplaced? Talk to me about that process.
We do have software that is on the devices that we can basically render that device useless. So if it's out there and it's missing, or maybe it was stolen, we will leverage that software to brick it.
Okay, brick it.
So brick it. You can't even use it for anything. And there will be a message on the screen that says, turn this back into Fulton County schools. We have geolocators, so we can find the device.
So it works like an iPhone, like Find My iPhone.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So we have software on all of our devices that help do that for us.
Okay, so if a student misplaces it or if it gets stolen, then we can geolocate it like with a Find My device,
Right.
and then we can also render the device as useless.
Correct. Now, the caveat that is that it has to be on for us to be able to find it. If it's turned off, we can't find it. But again, we can make it useless. So
So I don't know what the price of a student device is these days. I'm guessing $500-$600. That may or may not be right. Is that about accurate?
with our warranty and right from the brand new, about $500-$600. However, if a student misplaces a device, currently our fine for a missing device or not turning a device in is $250. And the fine for not turning in a charger is $30. But we're going to allow, because we know there are a lot of students out there, some of our younger students, first time having a device, maybe they've got some damages to the device, maybe they're a little afraid of turning it in. We're going to waive fines and fees for turned in devices during the time period between April 15th and April 22nd. We just want to encourage our families to turn in your device no matter what's wrong with it, so that we can repair it and get it back into our inventory.
So I don't want to put words in your mouth. So I'm a student. I took a device home. I dropped it. It has a cracked screen. I have reported it as missing because I don't want to pay a fine for damaging it. But we're going to allow students to bring that device in so that we can repair it and put it back in service and not fine the family or student.
During that time period from April 15th to April 22nd, we just want to encourage turning in devices so that we can repair them. Correct.
Okay, interesting. I think that's a really good thing to do. We're saving the taxpayers money in that we're recovering the device, repairing it, and putting it back in service. I want to ask you this. This is really important to our parents and to our community. How do we make sure that students' safety, that they're not using devices, to bully one another, or, when you think about student safety, how can we help our students learn to be good digital citizens so they operate in the world digitally in a safe way?
Yes, it's so important, Dr. Looney. Again, digital citizenship is everyone's responsibility. We just need to make sure that we're using these devices responsibly. Our media specialists, we call them MEDIs, in each of our schools, has a curriculum that they go through with our students and teaches them about digital citizenship and not doing cyberbullying and those kinds of behaviors. We also believe that home internet use is important. So for this reason, our Fulton County Schools is partnering with our vendors and local internet service providers and Common Sense Media to develop some resources for parents to use at home to keep their students home while they're using the internet at home safe. So we have a website that we've created. It has a number of resources, and it has an acronym called TAP. And TAP stands for TAP stands for the 3 things a parent can do at home to keep their child safe while using the internet at home. The T stands for time. So a parent can use software, free, simple software, to restrict the time that a student uses the internet.
So
maybe they turn it off.
Your bedroom at 2 a.m. in the morning and surfing the web.
Correct.
Okay.
So turn it off at 9 p.m. The A stands for access. A parent can limit what websites their child is able to access. They can maybe just turn on a couple of websites and everything else is blocked. And then the P stands for password. They can actually password protect their own internet to keep their child from accessing the internet at all, or if they do, they have a safe and complex password to access that system, which is teaching them.
Such an important issue, and I know that we are working on building out parent workshops, and some of them are going to be provided digitally. We're going to have some face-to-face.
Correct.
Parents, there are so many important things that you need to know to help your child be safe using their devices, either their personal devices, including cell phones, or school-issued devices on your home router. I hope that you tune in to those parent engagement sessions so that we can support you in making sure that we all collectively are keeping our children safe. Thank you so much for joining us today in this segment of Let's Talk Schools. I look forward to seeing you again soon.